Hello, and welcome to another episode from TheWildWestGamer. You join me, TheWildWestGamer, here in the Gaming Grotto. The site's doing really well, the channel's doing really well. I've had some more views, really excited about that. That's really good news. And I've got my first subscriber, which is really awesome. So, to you, subscriber, I love you too, random citizen. So yeah, thanks very much. That's really great. And yeah, I hope the rest of you, can join as well. Please do subscribe. I know it's always a risk taking, a chance on a channel that's new and also hasn't got very many views. But I just like to, say that you would be helping me as a YouTube member grow. Grow as a video maker, grow as a reviewer. And also the format of this show, it's very basic at the moment. I'm hoping it's my enthusiasm and passion that's sort of keeping it going. But as more people start watching, and as I get some more equipment, to make it better, that should hopefully again, allow me to make the format of the show a lot more, showy, without sounding rather unaware of the proper technical terms. So yeah, please do subscribe, and always, like I say, please leave your comments, please leave your opinions. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, what you think, and any positive feedback, any negative feedback, anything constructive is always welcome. So yeah, there's that to start with. And today I'm not doing a review. I have got one planned. I've got something in the works, as I would say. But today I'm talking. It's never sort of opinion episode today. In the same vein as violence on video games. Now, that's violence on video games among the gaming community. My opinion is kind of the general consensus. I don't mean that's written. And is definitely what people think. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, right? But basically, what I went through in my violence and video games review, just to recap, because what I'm talking about today does have a slight bit to do with that, is that when there are cases of violence and it is tracked that the person who committed said act, or crime in general, played video games, it is really, really damaging to the video game industry that the media jumps on this as being the absolute cause and reason for said crime to be committed. Now, that's not fair. The reason for that is video games do not contain some sort of subliminal psycho conditioning which causes people to go out and commit crimes. They don't. If that's a conspiracy theory, or if that's opinion amongst non-gamers, then I can tell you now that's not the case. Violence in real life is horrible. It's horrific. It is incredibly graphic and just disgusting. In video games, you get an interpretation which is very far removed from what it's actually like. Now, some say, well, this is damaging because this is showing people that that's not, the violence isn't, disgusting and dangerous, as I just said. But on the contrary, by showing this, just showing this very simplistic and very mundane depiction of violence, what you actually do is you just make the person aware that violence is there, but it doesn't have an effect on them, because if there was a character reveling in the violence and the violence was somehow gaining them something, and it was very done in a very sort of positive way toward the person committing the act, then even I would go, well, perhaps then in the hands of someone with a less than sane mind, that could appear to be, praising violence. The thing is, though, in any game, and I can really say this with genuine certainty, any game where there is violence in it, there is always a negative reaction upon the main character or the character. Now, people go, well, GTA plays very much upon violence in video games, and uses it quite a lot, and in some cases, extreme cases. I would say yes, but I would say the thing is with GTA, there is a story, and a very long story, and I would say it's Quentin Tarantino, it's sort of Martin Scorsese, it's very, very, very character driven, the stories of Grand Theft Auto, for those of you who aren't aware of the GTA series. The latest game, GTA 4, yeah, GTA 4. That depicts a much more realistic interpretation of the Grand Theft Auto world. It's very heavily based on New York City, but even that, the violence in that, is a little bit more realistic. But the violence does lead to negative, has a negative impact on the character's life, Nico Bellic. And he does suffer for it. So these games, for as much as people can criticize the violence, they don't glorify it. And a lot of people say, oh, they do, they glorify violence. No, they don't, because if it was glorifying violence, there wouldn't be a negative comeback on the lead character. It would, in fact, increase their already, standing in the world, or however it is. Some people do say Saints Row does it. Well, no, because Saints Row has its fair share of, complications and, plot twists which revolve from the acts committed by the player. And if that contains violence, well, that's clearly showing, isn't it? The violence has a negative connotation. There's a negative connotation connected to violence. It is the story we play these for. It's not to revel in the violence. And again, a lot of anti-gamers say, anti-violence in games campaigners say, that people revel in the violence. We're not playing it to revel in the violence. Yes, the violence is a part of it, but it's not because we're reveling in it. We want to revel in it. It's because we want to enjoy the story, the experience, the excitement of playing these games. I'm playing a lot of multiplayer on Killzone 3. Now in Killzone 3, if you get close to someone, you do a melee attack. You do a brutal melee. That's what the actual mode is called, where you inflict more than I could say incredibly extreme violent assault upon the enemy. In some cases it's a knife to the eye, in some cases it's a slit throat, a broken neck, gouging eyes is one of the things. Now in a game I may be able to do that perhaps 10 times. I'm not boasting saying I'm a good, that's how many kills I can get. I'm just using it as a depiction, as an estimation, as an example. But I can get perhaps, 10 of those. And that means I've been exposed 10 times to a really gruesome, physical act of violence. Does that make me want to go and repeat any of that in any shape or form? No, it doesn't. Why? Because I'm a sane human being. I am a sane person. Now, I'm sorry to say this, and I'm going to try and make this sound quite balanced. I don't want to make this sound like this is me attacking anyone. But when there are cases of violence committed by people, and it is traced that they play video games, and that it's linked that perhaps the act they committed was influenced by video games, 2 cases. One, the gamer was far too young for the game, and that directly ties into what I'm talking about today. And second of all, the person has some form of undiagnosed mental illness. Now, bear with me there. That's not me saying people with mental illnesses go out and commit crimes, because I know a lot of people with mental illnesses, depression, autism, etc. And they are good people. They are good, kind people. I'm not gonna have it, turned on me that I'm saying anything about people with mental illness. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, in the case of what happened in Connecticut recently, it was found that the person had, was antisocial. I mean, antisocial in the sense that he locked himself away, he was very withdrawn, he was very quiet. And it was even said, and this was in one of the reports, that it was because of a failing with the mental health, mental health organizations in the American health system that led to him not being diagnosed with a form of mental illness. I'm not an expert on it. I can't go into more detail, but that was what it was said. That was what was said, and you can find that information on the internet. I mean, if you can find it, you know what I'm talking about. My point is, though, that if mental illness is something that needs to be more broadcast, people need to be more aware of it. They need television shows, and this is in the UK, mind. We are shown how to restart someone's heart if they fall over in the street, with a heart attack. We are shown how to recognise the signs of a stroke. But we are not shown to recognise the signs of a mental breakdown. We are not shown to recognise the signs of perhaps a psychotic episode, something like that. Stuff that we should be able to be, something we should be informed about. We're not. There are plenty of adverts on British television saying don't discriminate against people with mental health. Well, no, why would I? That's horrible thing. That's a terrible thing. Like I've said again in other videos, I treat everyone equally. There's no difference between people whether they're, an IQ of 1,000, an IQ of 1, whether they're black, they're white, they're stupid, they're clever, whatever. It doesn't matter. Everyone is equal. Everyone is born the same. Everyone dies the same way. Old age, God forbid anyone should die any other way. I mean, I know it happens, but that's what I'm getting at is in a perfect world, we would all be born, we would all die, we would all live our lives. There is no difference between people. Yeah? Just so I get that clear, just so anyone thinks I'm discriminating. But that's my point, the British television has plenty of things to say, don't discriminate, but they don't have anything to say. Well, watch out for these signs. You can save someone's life, perhaps save other people's lives. All right, come on, let's be honest about this. Let's not be, let's not just deal with it because it's an uncomfortable subject. But that's my point. When there is episodes of violence, and it doesn't have to be just video games. It can be films. It can be but again, books and plays. Christ, books and plays have contained violence for hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years. Myths, religion contains horrific violence, genocide in some cases, and yet that can't be touched when it comes to these things. No. It's got to be the music. It's got to be the video games. It's got to be movies. It's got to be television. Well, it's not. People do bad things. Get over it. Accept it. Move along. Prevent it if you can. Watch out for it if you can. Try and cure it before anything bad happens. But you cannot tell me now that there is one specific reason why people commit do bad things. And if they watch films, I mean, Christ, everyone breathes air. We've all got that in common. What are we going to, what, is there a link between breathing air and committing violence? No. I'm sorry if that sounds ridiculous, but that's what it's like when you compare something like video games. People committed violence before video games. What's so special now? So, sorry if that went a bit off the rails then, but that is the facts. That is a really good point. Violence was committed before video games. There were incidences of people perpetrating very, very extreme acts of violence on one or larger groups of people before video games came around. But no, with the advent of Pong, bam, that was it. Video games became in the firing line. That was what was going to be blamed for acts of violence. Now, as I said, there are two kinds of people. People who are, sick and need help. And there are people who are too young. That's what I'm talking about. Certification. Now, a lot of stuff was said about, violence in video games. Kids shouldn't be exposed. Kids shouldn't be allowed to see it. Kids shouldn't be allowed to play these sorts of things. Well, they can't. Heads up. Any anti-game campaigner who tells you now kids shouldn't be playing this stuff, yeah, they're right. But you know why they're right? Because someone shouldn't be buying them for them. Yeah? Sorry if it sounds like I'm having a rant, but I'm very passionate about this. Kids, you should not be playing these games. If you are watching this because you were trying to find a walkthrough for Gears of War or Call of Duty or God of War or whatever, and you're underage, turn it off, throw it away, give it to someone else, trade it in. Do whatever, but you shouldn't be playing this, and you know as well as I do you shouldn't be. Doesn't matter if you think you're mature enough. Doesn't matter whether you think you can deal with it, because you're not old enough. Simple as, you're breaking the law. Now, the important thing is to know is kids can't buy these games. Game stores, the internet I'll deal with separately, but game stores are very much made aware of the consequences of selling games to underages. Yeah, there is a massive fine, there's a risk of imprisonment, the store can lose its license, the business can go under, and that's for one bad game sold. Yeah, you understand? So don't blame the stores. All right, now the internet, yeah, people can go, well, kids can buy it offline, you don't need any age certification there. Why are you letting your kids shop online? What the hell, man? Come on, grow up. If you're a parent, you let your kids shop online and they're not in their late teens. Come on, switch on. Really? You're letting your kid that much responsibility? I'm a parent. I wouldn't. Jesus Christ, no. That's stupid. Right. Going back to video games. Kids can't buy them. The stores won't let them. I've been into a store when I was too young. I tried to buy a video game. I was refused. Did it piss me off? Yeah. Do I appreciate it now? Hell yeah, I do. Trust me, I do. I'm not just saying it because I'm making this video. I did. Alright, I do, sorry. But yeah, parents, pay attention to what is on the games, alright? Pay attention. Now, a lot of people go, oh, they're not big enough, alright? They're not big enough? Right. Look at that game console. Game case, sorry. Look at it. Look it out of the glare. Right, what do you see? Well, you see Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you see pictures of, well, first of all, you see pictures of guns and hookers. What do you think's going to be in this game? But there, just there. That's it. That's what I'm looking for, baby. Nice big red circle there. Oh, what's on the other side? Oh, Out the glare again. An 18 certificate. What does it say? Suitable only for persons of 18 years or over. Not to be supplied to any person below that age. You know what that means, mums and dads, if you're buying this for them? Doesn't mean you get away with it because you're buying it and then handing it to them. It's sick. It's wrong. It's disgusting. Every parent who blames video games for violence, who has ever bought one for their child, doesn't matter if they were one day under the age restriction, you're what's wrong with the system. You are. Not anyone else, you are. You're what's wrong. You cannot blame video games for violence. You cannot blame video games for causing problems in the world when you are sat there buying your kids Call of Duty 2. Alright? It's just completely nuts. It winds me up so much when I hear people go, oh yeah, I got so-and-so, Halo Reach. How old is so-and-so? Oh, they're 9. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back. I'm sure, when you get the few hours on Christmas Day, or on their birthday or whenever the hell you buy it for them, I'm sure those few hours you get quiet is really going to do them a world of good. After which, they're like completely, brain scrambles because they're 9 years old and they've just been exposed to violence. All right? Yeah, all right. I don't blame video games for making people commit violence when they're old enough. But what I'm saying is, if you're under the age age restrictions, then there's a problem. All right. Games are restricted for a reason. I won't hear games be blamed for causing violence in people who are old enough. But when they're underneath, yeah, that's the problem. But it's not the video games problem because the guys who made it put the certification on there. People say video games aren't certified enough. 18 years old. Jesus Christ, we let kids join the army at 16. What are you saying? What do they do? What, guard the bloody things while they're in the shop to, do a date of birth check? They want to see your birth certificate? Come on. People who get these games underage are either getting them off their friends, off of people they know who are enough, or off of their parents or grandparents. So what do I say to you? If one of your kids comes to you asking for a video game, and this is a majoritively is to the adults, all right? And I hope kids who see this who are underage, who think about trying to get these games, don't. Seriously, you're not missing out. Wait a couple years. They'll be cheaper. It's better for you. Seriously, times are hard. Try and save a bit of the moolah, right? So parents, don't do it. Grandparents, don't do it. Friends, don't do it. Peers, don't do it. No one do it. If they ask you to buy a game and you don't, because a lot of the comments are, I didn't know it contained violence. Oh no, it's got blood and guns in it. Has it? Really? Right. Well, I'll tell you what, little Timmy's just come to you and asked you for the latest Call of Duty. You don't know what it is? Go online. There is no excuse nowadays. You can go down to a library and for the price of sitting there for 5 minutes filling out a form to get a library card, you can check on their internet systems. Go to a friend. Use your own if you have it. Ask someone in the game shop, for God's sake. Say, is this game suitable for my 12-year-old? What do you think they're going to say? No. So don't sit there complaining. Video games made my kid go nuts. How old is your child? 5. Well done. Well done. Really. Your first job was to look after your child's well-being and you screwed that up by just not being able to parent them well enough. Interact with your children, for God's sake. Look after them. Play games with them. Don't just buy them games as a quick way to get them off get them off your knee or something because they're dragging you up the wrong way. Yeah? You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry if it sounds like a rant, but seriously, this is something that needs to be done because us, the gamers, we get blamed for it. The people who make the games get blamed for it. This art form gets blamed for your ignorance, for your stupidity. Yeah? Right. So what am I saying, right? Games which are certified. If you are 18 years old, if you are 20, if you're 25, if you're 30, if you are old enough to play the games, then you go out and commit an act of violence and you try to blame it on video games, don't. Alright? If you are old enough to know the difference between right and wrong, you are old enough to know that you shouldn't be doing shit like that, alright? It's screwed up and wrong. Don't try and blame it on games. If someone is mentally ill, don't buy them the game. Yeah? If you're a carer, don't buy them the game. This is why I don't understand. People go, so-and-so had this game. How did they get the game? How? How did they buy this thing? Go back, find out who, and prosecute if you have to. I don't care. Ignorance is not an excuse. It is not an alibi. People need to be aware of what their kids, what their children are playing. You know, impressionable people. That's who it is. Impressionable people. People who are easily swayed. People who are easily influenced. Yeah, we have got as a society to take hold of this issue. We have to look after our children. We have to look after the vulnerable. We have to look after the ill. Because things like this, yeah, all right, I am not going to admit that violence in video games causes violence in real life. But what I am going to say is for people who are vulnerable, who are susceptible, who are still learning, yeah, I am going to say that probably does screw them up a bit. There was an incident of a kid who, again, was underage, bashed his friend's head in with a hammer. This was quite a while. I was a secondary school last couple of years. This was in the paper. The kid had been playing GTA, underage, influenced by what he saw, grabbed a hammer, round his friend's head, killed him. I assume he's now probably in a, young offenders institute or something like that. He's ruined 2 lives, his own and someone else's, as well as the countless ones around him of both families. Yeah? Now, who got him that game? Who lent him that game? Who gave him that game? Yeah? This is the important question because we need to stop this happening. There is nothing wrong with kids, right? If you're watching this, you think you're missing out. You're not. I've been reviewing games which are well within, under 12s and unders, alright? I'm going to do a Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone for the PlayStation 1 review soon. Games like that are awesome. They're amazing. They are fantastic. There are the Lord of the Rings games. I'm going to review this for the PlayStation 2. Those are under 12s as well. They're fantastic. Yeah. Sorry, they're 12. Sorry, don't worry. Yeah. They're 12s. But what I'm saying is, if you're 12 years old and you want to play, Grand Theft Auto, no, don't. You don't want to see what's in there. Christ, kids lose their innocence so quickly nowadays. Keep it. I'm going to use this now and I'm going to put this out there because I think it's important. I have a daughter, she's 2 years old. When she grows up, what am I going to buy her? Because it ain't going to be a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox. Oh no sir, it ain't going to be. What am I going to get her? I'm going to get her an N64, I'm going to get her a SNES, I'm going to get her a Game Boy. Yeah? It's going to be cheap, it's going to be cheerful. Why? Because I'm a cheap father? No. Because, first of all, she's too young to appreciate what she's got. These parents are going to buy their kids these brand new consoles. The fuck is wrong with you? Jesus Christ. Buy them an Action Man. Buy them a Power Ranger. Buy them a PlayStation 3. Because you stick it in their room, you set it up. That's it. Here's a network pass. Well done. They're now exposed to an entire world of people they've never met. Would you dump your child in the middle of the street or by themselves? No, you wouldn't. Don't let your children on these things without knowing what they do first. Remember I was talking about the Alan Titchmarsh show in my Violence Video Game show about how they ganged up on this one editor of the thing. They were saying, there's no protection. The editor-in-chief of the Xbox magazine or whatever it was, I don't care. The point is he was from the games industry, he was one of us. Said there are parental blocks on these consoles. There are ways to protect your children. There are ways to limit the amount of time they spend playing on these games. There is certification on the games because someone said there's no way to stop kids from playing these games. There is. Don't buy them in the first place. Don't buy them the most expensive consoles now. Don't let them go on them without supervision. If your child is under 18 and you don't want them playing these games because they may get them off their friends, right? Go on the system settings. This is on the PlayStation, this is on the Xbox, and I think it's even on the Wii. Go on this section. You can find parental settings. If you can't, just stream through. Just go through the settings, investigate. I know, find the handbook, the instruction booklet. Go on there. Go on the net. There are any way to get these instructions. I am not going to accept that people cannot be bothered or cannot find it. It is there. Go on it. Put the parental blocks on and set a password. Now don't set it like cat or dog or your birthday. A good one, like 24 characters long. Remember it, mind. I'm not saying, you don't want to piss your kids off when they get old enough to play these games, But then again, that is your choice. They're your kids. If they're in their house, tell them what to do. Christ, do some parenting. Yeah? Right. Put the parental blocks on. Stop them playing these games. Yeah? And remember it. Don't tell them. Ever. It doesn't matter how many times they beg you. No matter if they go, I will never ask for a birthday present again if you tell me that code, please. Don't do it. Alright? Don't let them play these games. Yeah? Problem solved. They go around their houses. Check with the parents. What games does your son play? Well, my son plays Call of Duty. Yeah, when my son's there, can you make sure he doesn't play Call of Duty, please? I don't feel comfortable doing that. Don't let your child go around there then. Sort it. See? Jesus Christ. It annoys me so much when I hear parents going, I can't stop them, they run amok. Really? Whose fault is that? Your child or yours? Because I'm seeing one child, I'm seeing one adult, or perhaps that adult is a child. Do parenting, yeah? As a society, we need to take charge here. This will become an epidemic, yeah? I am fighting for the rights of gamers, yeah? I am saying now, stop. This can be the campaign starter, right? Screw it. Spread the word, spread the news, spread this video, yeah? Stop buying overage games for your underage children, yeah? Consider it to be porn if you have to, yeah? Would you buy your child porn? No, you wouldn't. Good. So don't do this. It is dangerous for your children. It is dangerous for vulnerable members of society. You know, make sure your children are safe in their own bedrooms. Don't let them go on Xbox Live without a chaperone. Yeah? Seriously, this is a bit... Right, after the dawn of the information technology age, after the dawn of Facebook and social networking, people everywhere in the world were connected instantly. Didn't matter whether they signed up because they were still potentially connected. They could then get connected, and that was that. And who do you think came with that? Yeah? The predators, the psychos, the scary men, and women, so I'm not going to discriminate there, the scary men and women, the monsters of society were immediately transported into your room unless you were careful. Yeah? Games, but consoles are the same. I'm going to admit, me and my friends have been playing online a couple of times, and we've had dodgy messages come through. You know, it takes one message saying, "Ooh, do you have a video camera?" Yeah, fuck off, dude. Yeah, screw you. You've got to be careful. This is a big world now. It is not just... Before, if this was like an N64 or a PlayStation 1 day, like, you know, the PlayStation 1 days or N64 days, I wouldn't really care as much because it would be just the parents in the stores thing. But the problem is your kids can access the internet and they are immediately connected to everyone. Yeah? Put blocks on your computers as well. Do that as well. Because otherwise your kids can still go on YouTube or another, you know, site and watch the videos there, yeah? You need to make sure you're protecting them. This is for the good of you and your children, yeah? Please do it, alright? I know it sounds like a rant. I know. Why are you going to listen to me, yeah? I'm 22 years old. What do I know? Well, I know a lot more than you think I do, yeah? And I know that video games get blasted so much, it's about time they blasted back. And they said, no, we do protect young people. We do protect the people underneath the certifications of our games. We put certificates on our games so people under them can't play them. If you're buying them, it's your fault. Yeah? If you're buying them for your underage children, it's your fault. And here's another situation, right? Say if you're a gamer and your children, you know, are gamers too, and you're old enough to play them and they're not. Don't play them around them. Sorted. Please. Or set up a gaming room. I've got this. I call it the gaming grotto. It's in a separate room from where my daughter plays. If I have a violent game going on, I play it on quiet. If she walks in, I put it on pause. Yeah? It's that simple, you know? If they've got the same console as you, lock the violent video games away somewhere. I've got behind the laptop, I'm not going to spin it around because I'll lose focus on the camera, but I've got 3 cupboards of all of my games and DVDs and stuff like that. All of them I put chairs in front of, I put other stuff in front of them, I put anything I can. Christ, I've got a fish tank which I keep moving, you know, every other minute trying to get in there, so I stop her from getting in there. I don't even really want her looking at the cases, yeah? That's the lengths I'll go to protect my daughter, and you should too. This shouldn't be something that makes you go, oh, he's attacking me. This should be something that makes you go, yeah, that's a really good point, because you need to protect your children. I can't stress that enough. Certification is there, alright? Games are certified. There are 12s, there are 15s, there are 18s, there was the PEGI system, there is a new system now, I think it's the ESRB rating, which is universal, it's global. Every game will be done like this. Every game will be, you know, certified the same way. There's no need for campaigners to go, violence in video games should stop altogether. Really? Put your time towards something better like solving world peace. Fuck's sake. Blaming video games, it's such a pathetic reason. At some point there is going to be a new entertainment form, alright? An evolution of film or games or music or something. You know? We need to be the ones now to say, let's protect kids. Yeah? Protect them now before there is an even more advanced entertainment system. I know what my point was. I was going to go on before then was the campaigners will start blaming that. Yeah. First it was music, then it was films, then it was video games. Why don't we wake up and turn around and go, you know what? There is a system in place and it does work. It only doesn't work when the people who should be making it work don't let it. Yeah. And also don't listen to the media. Yeah, don't listen to a paper that slams video games, but also on page 98 does a review. Hypocrite much? Yeah, you know, papers that call politicians liars, and then turns out they're hacking phones. Don't listen to them. You think? So, in conclusion, games are certified. They protect your kids. They protect you. They protect everyone. Yeah. Everyone deserves to be protected from this, which means that everyone deserves to have someone protect them. Carers, parents, aunts, uncles, best friends, whatever. You know what? We've all got a responsibility. Yeah? I have never bought a game for someone underage. I am never going to buy a game for someone underage. I think it's immoral. I think it's wrong. I don't believe in it. Sorry if that's, something that offends you, but good. Because I'm not going to break the law so that someone can have 2 hours worth of entertainment and then flip out and do something stupid that will ruin their lives or someone else's. Yeah? Okay? So I want to make myself clear. I ain't saying the video games do cause violence, because that would be saying that I say that I'd be admitting that people who are over the age of certification who do commit acts of violence, that was the cause. What I'm saying is, though, people who are young and who are impressionable, yeah, I can see that could be a cause, yeah? So I think that's important for us all to be aware of, yeah? Okay, so, once again, thank you for watching. I hope you could bear with me. I'm coming up, about 35 minutes. But yeah, really important, guys. So, you know what? If this should be the birth of a campaign, so be it. I'll be the voice of it. I don't mind standing up to politicians, psychiatrists, whoever. I'll take it to anyone. Because I really believe this, Really think games need defending. They've got a lot of enemies, and we need to, as the gamers, stand up and defend them. So, guys, thank you once again. If you agree, leave a comment. If you disagree, leave a comment. If you just want to say pineapple poopy poop, leave a comment, alright? Once again, I've been the TheWildWestGamer from the Gaming Grotto. I'm now going to drink some milk and play some games. So, rock on, live long and prosper, do your thing. See you later, guys. Take it easy. Peace.